Hello, my name is Brenna Davis, and I am the Director of Education for Justice and Environmental Initiatives at the Ignatian Solidarity Network, and today I'm going to be talking about Ignatian indifference. So as we all know, desiring things is human, but St. Ignatius, with the principle and the gift of Ignatian indifference, reminds us it's important to remember our life's true purpose and to be able to order our desires when we start to become obsessive or stuck on the idea that a particular thing or person or circumstance will make us feel whole. I'm going to read Father David Fleming's contemporary ending to the principle and foundation of the spiritual exercises as it talks about this concept of indifference. We should not fix our desires on health or sickness, wealth or poverty, success or failure, a long life or short one, for everything has the potential of calling forth in us a deeper response to our life in God. Our only desire, only one choice should be this: I want and choose what better leads to God's deepening life in me. Everything has the potential of calling forth in us a deeper response in our life to God. God in all things, right? Even sickness, poverty, failure, or a short life. And Jesus is a great example of this. He was criticized, lived simply, had a short life, all in his mission to share God's love in the world. And he lived a deeply meaningful and loving life despite the circumstances. Indifference then, with the example of Jesus, isn't due to a lack of caring about what will happen, but is rather centered deeply in love of life and love of creation, with the understanding that we can continue to praise, reverence, and serve God in a variety of circumstances. It also is not an excuse not to work for justice. It's quite the opposite, actually. The way that we are called to praise, love, and serve God, in fact, is to change these unjust circumstances. And Ignatian indifference gives us freedom, not to do what you want when you want, but freedom from disordered attachments and whatever might distract us from God and doing our work in the world. And I like to think of disordered attachments as kind of like a knotted up ball of yarn in my chest. And when I'm attached to things, it's very easy for me to get snagged. So I want praise and I don't get it. I feel snagged. I think a particular relationship will make me feel whole. I get snagged again when it doesn't work out. And the result of this is not feeling the wholeness that God desires for my life, or really having the freedom to choose the magis, the greater good, because I'm still fixated on something else, usually myself and my ego. So Ignatian indifference allows us to unknot that messy ball of emotions inside of us and neatly roll up the ball of yarn and realize that we are human and we have desires, and our deepest desires are precious, but we don't have to let our disordered attachments to them snag us or trip us up. There's not one clearly laid plan that will lead each of us to a fulfilling life, but many, and the less I am attached to the idea that only this job or only this person or only this health status will create meaning in my life, the more interior freedom I have to listen to the voice of God and to choose a loving response. So finally, Ignatian indifference reminds us that we have worth no matter the circumstances, because our true identity lies in God. It reminds me that I can continue to love and serve God even when things don't work out the way that I wanted or the way that I planned, because they can still lead to God's deepening life in me.